Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to share my experience with Encore Azaleas. I have quite a few in my yard. This is Autumn Bonfire. In the photos when I purchased this, it looked like it was a little more orangey, but it's actually a bright magenta. This is what it looks like in April. These are multi-blooming bushes. However, this is what mine look like in April, and then I'll show you what they look like now. My first flush of blooms in April is, as you can see, it's like a ball of color. Now there's like here and there, it's sort of spotty. Now I do have ground cover roses planted between them so that I have color all year round. But you can see that one back there. There's like one really blooming at this time. And it's got a decent number of blooms around it, but I don't really count on mine blooming. They can bloom up to 3 times a year, but I don't really count on that because, as you can see in my case, despite them being in the same exact place, they just don't bloom consistently 3 times, even 2 times per year. That one right there that I'm showing you, that's what it looks like in the fall when it has its fall blooms. And you can see what the blossoms look like when they start to die off. And keep in mind, in April, when that bush is covered with blossoms and they start to die off, it looks like the entire bush is dead. I go out and sort of ruffle my hand on the bush every few days just to sort of knock some of those blossoms off. You don't have to do that, but it just looks better. So the good about them is that they definitely bloom multiple times a year. It can be inconsistent. And then the other thing is that they don't look so great when they are done blooming. This is an autumn. The one in the front was an autumn bonfire. This one is autumn chiffon, and as you can see, the blossoms are beautiful. They are inconsistent colors, but I don't really mind that. It's actually quite pretty. I'm actually zeroing in on the fact that my bushes in the back that bloom in the winter are already starting to blossom up, which is great. But this is an autumn chiffon Encore Azalea. It is much larger. The ones in the front are dwarf. This one in the back is actually a regular size. I'm not sure what the difference is as far as height is concerned, because this was actually here when I moved in my house, and I just moved it to this area, and it loves this being on this hill in the bright sun. You can see the blossoms are so interesting because you've got one that's like bright pink, and then one that has the variegated light pink and dark pink. I don't mind that. I think it's quite pretty. It loves bright sun, and I'm in zone 7B. That's a hibiscus plant. So yeah, you can tell I plant things pretty tight. This is a very steep hill. It's really useless. I tried having grass on it, and I fell multiple times trying to mow it. It was comical, and I decided that it was just time to plant something up here that would grow big and sort of smother out any weeds, hopefully. But you can see here how I plant the ground cover roses, which mine get huge. Roses in our area just do really, really well. And I'm in the south where it gets really hot and humid, but the roses look really good. They continually bloom up until really it gets cold. But yeah, so that's what it looks like. I wanted to share my experience with Encore Azaleas. I absolutely recommend them. However, just keep in mind when you have them and they're blooming in the spring, when they're done blooming, they're quite unattractive. And a lot of people prune them, or at least prune off the blossoms, but when you have a lot of them like I do, it's just not worth it. I just pretty much ruffle my hands on them every few days to try to encourage them to drop the spent blooms. But otherwise, I just leave them. And you can see when you plant them with a companion plant that sort of grows, and it doesn't really grow into the plant, but they sort of grow together. It almost looks like a mass of just beautiful blossoms. My ground cover roses, I can do a video on those later, but I do want to share these because I know a lot of people wonder about azaleas, especially Encore Azaleas. I get a lot of questions about those, but I absolutely love them. I would definitely plant them again, but keep in mind you want to probably plant them with something that is going to give them a little camouflage when they're done blooming, or either add some sort of companion color to it. That when they're not blooming, then the other, ground cover roses will bloom, and when the ground cover roses aren't quite blooming yet, the azaleas will be blooming. I hope you enjoyed the video and you're having a wonderful day.